welcome back to the shop. Today I thought I'd take a little break from working on the Sydney lathe and build something I've been wanting to build for quite a while, and Randy Richards from Randy Richards in the Shop, I think, pushed me over the edge to go ahead and get this stuff ordered so I can get it done. And I've been wanting to buy build a confidence monitor for quite a while. When you're filming, you know, you're looking directly at the camera, and the only thing that's on my DSLR is a little, you know, 2.5 by 3 inch screen, and the camera is probably 6 or 8 feet away from me now, and it's pretty tough to see. So a lot of webcasting shows and podcasting, video podcasts have confidence monitors, and they're right behind the camera. So as you're looking at the camera, you can actually see what you're filming. And it just, you know, it helps focus, or keep me focused anyway, on looking at the camera. So you kind of have, instead of the one-eyed monster that you're looking at in the camera, you're actually kind of talking to something and you can see. So I went ahead and bought an inexpensive 24-inch monitor from Amazon. I think it was $100. I mean, you know. And then I bought another camera mount. It's a swivel base made by Newer, however you pronounce it, I have no idea. And then I bought some casters, and these casters are for office chairs. So the swivel base, or the base that I'm going to use, is from an old office chair. It's metal. It's got some, you know, the crappy tires that come on it. So I'm going to replace it with these. They're more like roller skate wheels, or inline skate wheels. They're very, very smooth, rubbery, and they should glide across the shop floor like nobody's business. So it just helps you move it around the shop a little better. What I have now is you know, this works well, but sometimes it'll get to wobbling, and I'm sure you've noticed some of it. This is my camcorder, my secondary camera that I use. So it works really good. I take it to trade shows. When I was at FabTech, this is what I used there, without the boom mic, or the shotgun mic, I should say. And it works pretty good. I'm not, you know, it's very handy. It's way more handier than the DSLR. It just doesn't shoot the quality that the DSLR does. So, you know, I haven't found one in my price range that I'm willing to part the money with. So I think we're just going to keep on doing this way. I'll use the camcorder for some handheld shots just because it's very easy. It's got very, very good image stabilization, though. I do have to admit that. And the microphone that's on it, that's built into the camera, is pretty good. So, and while I was at it, I went ahead and got some more 64 gig memory cards. So we got this, and I have to thank Randy Richards, who I think he seen it from not Tony, Mr. Pete, golly. Mr. Pete, he uses some kind of monitor in his shop, and it helps you frame the shots too a lot better if you can see it pretty large. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go from what we have here, which is the DSLR on a tripod. My camcorder's on a little homemade stand that, you know, I can raise and lower. I can raise it almost to 8 feet and then point it wherever I need to if I'm doing something in the parts washer or something like that. And then in the corner there, you see, that's my live streaming setup. And I want to do more live streams, but right now I have to look up at the big monitor so I can do all the switching and stuff. The top two, if you've ever seen the behind the scenes of any sportscast, you know, you have your preview screen on the left, what's going out on the right, and then all your intakes or all your inputs on the bottom. And you can do all your switching live there. And like I said, my goal hopefully is to have cameras, at least 2 in here, that are point to zoom, and you can set different preset positions, and as you change the preset, it'll automatically swing to that position. You know, a lot of us that make these YouTube videos, it's an unimaginable amount of time it takes to edit these videos. As you get better doing them, you know, you learn to skip ahead and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but it still takes time. And live streaming, you can live stream it, go back, edit it, and then post it later on. And you know, a lot of the talking head shows, if you ever watch Twit TV, almost all theirs are done that way. They tape it live, and then they edit it and distribute it out that way. So, you know, it's a very efficient workflow for video editing. But anyway, that's my plans are today. I'm going to build this, probably a 7-foot tall stand. The monitor will go underneath and the camera will sit right above it. So the monitor will be right here, similar to what a camcorder setup would be in your house. I'll have the monitor about right here, and then the camera will be directly over it. And that's my plans. So we're gonna get started on it. So I'll bring you back. All right, so first things first, let's knock out these old crappy things. Uh-oh, maybe not. Let's do it this way. Really? I did not think they'd be that hard to get off. All right, so my plans are, this is the base that came off the chair. And I went ahead and I welded a couple plates on the bottom of it so I could stick that 1/2 inch through, tubing through. So I knocked out the cheap old wheels. In comparison, here's the wheels that were on it. Very, cheap. Well, these are inexpensive. I think the whole set wasn't but 20 bucks on Amazon. So, and they're just direct replacements for office chairs. And you go from this type of hard plastic roller to this nice inline skate wheel. So definitely an upgrade. So we're gonna change them out right quick. And then once we do that, we're going to make sure that top is pretty flat and level. So I have a piece of 2-inch tubing that I have, and it ought to be plenty strong enough to handle any weight that's going to go on it. I have some welding flash in some of these holes, so I'm going to have to deburr these holes a little bit. So let me deburr these holes and then I'll be back. There we go. Done. So now we have our rolling platform. So, oh yeah, it's going to work good. So now I need to make sure that this part right here is as flat as I can get it. And it'd be nice if it was level too. And then I'm going to cut a piece of 2-inch tube and tack it on both sides, and about 6.5, 7 feet tall. I have a piece back there and I don't know what it is. I'm just going to cut it off square, and that's what we're going to use. So let me get the old grinder out and find me a little torpedo level, and we'll see how that is. Let's grind this off right quick. All right, so we got all the built up stuff off of it. So now I want to make sure it's level, and I don't know if my table's level, so all I'm going to do, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's probably not level, so all we're going to do is do it comparatively. So put it on the table down here and see what it is, and it's about 1/4 bubble. So I'm going to go back up here, and that's exactly what that is, 1/4 bubble. Huh, who'd have thunk that? And then this way is dead nuts. So we'll put it up here, and that's dead nuts. All right, so this is, flat relative to that. So it's definitely not the best way to do it, but it'll work. It'll get me anywhere where I need to go. I'll put it on the floor, and then I'll probably plumb it from there. I'll break out my good crick level. I had it since my woodworking days, and it's very, very accurate. So anyway, for plumbing and leveling stuff, it's not for setting machinery. So I'll bring you back. Close enough. So we're going to tack that in place right there, and then I have another piece that'll slide in over here. We'll put a couple jam nuts on it to set the height and stuff like that. And then we'll make a little bracket that'll hold this little camera adapter. So the monitor will be here, and the camera will mount something like this, or like this. Not sure exactly yet. We'll get there. We'll figure that one out. Might be something like that. Who knows? Got to figure that part out. But we'll get there. Still might end up cutting this down a little lower too. Might do that too. We'll just see how it goes from here. So let me grab the welder and tack that stuff in place. That side's pretty good. And that side's pretty good. That's going to work good. Heavy enough where it's not going to wobble and fall over. Glides good on this floor. So now I need to be able to mount that monitor. So I have a piece of tubing that's going to go over this, and then we should be able to make some kind of bracket, and then on the top of that we'll put a flat plate on it and mount this part right on the top of it. I think it'll be the easiest place to get to. And we'll do that next. All right, so I think this is what we're going to do right here. We're going to weld this cap onto that, and then I'll smooth that all off nice and pretty. And then this mounts right here to the top there. That gives me a place to mount the camera, do all the adjusting, and then gives me an attachment point for the monitor. It may attach directly to this, or it might have another little bracket that comes off the side here to hold it, because I want the camera, I want the monitor to be just underneath the camera. So, or yeah, the monitor to be just underneath the camera lens. So I need a little room so I can tilt it down a little bit. So give it half an inch or so. But I think I'm going to tack that on right there. And then I'm going to smooth all that out, and we'll be back in business. So let me tack that on, and then we'll be right back. It's not pretty, but it's done. So let me get the old grinder out, and then we're going to grind all that, and then I'll bring you back. Well, had I thought about it, we might have drilled that 1/4-20 hole and run a nut in it before I welded that cap on. I'm going to attempt to go ahead and drill and tap that hole, and then run the bolt in from the backside. It's still open, so we're going to give it our best shot anyway. I don't think this is super critical, so you know, a good straight edge and a Sharpie is going to be good enough for this. So there's that. Let me grab a center punch. Nah, that's dead nuts. So then we're going to grab the drill bit. Come on now. Should know that was going to happen, huh? So we got that. I don't know if this ooh, good way to break a drill bit there. So I need my other drill. You should do that by hand, but I've tapped so many this way that we never have a problem. Of course, as soon as I said that, we're going to have a problem. So let me grab me some cutting fluid. It just powers right through it. They're both 12 volts, you know. Like I said, we use them all the time at work. And, you know, I'm confident in it, so very, very rarely break a tap. Very rarely break a tap. So, and you get a pretty hole that way. So now, grab me a countersink. and just take the burr off of it. There we go. And we have a pretty hole all tapped in there. Still a little warm from welding, but all right. So let me go grab the 1/4 bolt that'll fit this and go in there and have enough length, and then I'll bring you right back. All right, so I was able to get this on there. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It actually found the hole pretty simple. And so this lock here, let me loosen it up just a hair, handles the swivel action of this, which works really, really good. So I think I'm going to leave it in this position because I evidently got my hole off just a hair from center, which is no big deal with this. So I like it like this and like this. So this will go on top of here. And then I'll go ahead and run probably weld a couple, no, I'll probably just tap that out for 1/4 and put a couple stop bolts on there just to keep it from sliding. If you want it to go higher, we can raise it up higher. If you want it lower, we can lower it. So that'll probably be the lowest position I would ever do anything in. So that'll put the camera right at eye level, the monitor just below it, and we should be good to go, you know? So I think it's looking really, really good. So next thing, we're gonna tap a couple holes here, maybe 2 at the bottom, 1 up here, or maybe, might as well do 4, just in case. I get it up kind of high, you know, just to have a little extra right there. And I'll just put 1/4, tap that 1/4 just like I did the top, and then we'll carry on from there. So let's go back over here to the table here. All right, let's see if I can do a little bit better laying out these holes. 2.5. So we're gonna put 1 at 2.5 inch and 1/4. Put 1 up here at the top. And 1 about right here. Doesn't really matter. And then we're going to put 2 at the bottom. And center punch it. 1 down here. That gives us 4. That ought to be more than enough. So we'll just hand drill these. Not a big deal. Nah, man, I got the wrong drill every time I want to use it. Now let's tap it. Everybody cringe now. We're going to power tap these. This is George's way of power tapping. Like I said, if you don't feel comfortable doing it that way, don't do it. You know, I couldn't tell you how many thousands of holes I've tapped like that. So, all right, so that takes care of that. Let me grab a rag and clean that off and go grab some 1/4. So these are just going to be used as stops. So look at there, perfect every time. So we'll put that up on the stand, and then we'll get that adjusted where about I want it. I'll probably go ahead and move the camera over there while I'm at it. That way I can get a good sense of what everything's going to look like. So let me put this on there. I'm going to switch the camera over to that stand, and we'll see where we're at. All right, so we have the DSLR mounted on the new frame. So this is what the stand looks like. I'm going to use this other camera here. So this is my handheld one. It's pretty nifty, even with the shotgun or the boom mic on it. It still does a really, really good job. So, but I'm recording the audio onto the DSLR. So, but anyway, so we have the stand mounted to our, what do you call that? A donated old chair. Everybody throws away those chairs, but man, those bases are good for a lot of stuff. So you know, usually the back breaks or something like that, and it becomes a shop chair, and to change oil and work on cars, blah, blah, blah. So then we have a stand. It's probably right at 6 feet tall, and the DSLR sits right here on top of it. So I'm filming it while it's filming me. So, but the audio is so much better on there. I use a Heil Bluetooth adapter. This is just a cheap Audio-Technica lavalier mic that I hooked into some XLR fittings that'll work with these Heil Bluetooth wireless radios. So I'm able to do that wirelessly instead of buying a very, very expensive Sennheiser or Saramonic or something like that. Anyway, they're pretty expensive. So I just happened to win these Bluetooth transmitters at a ham fest. And anybody that knows Heil microphones and Heil sound, you know, they've been around for years. And you know, they're the godfathers of big sound. You know, Bob Heil is a great guy. Matter of fact, me and my wife met him a couple years back in Pigeon Forge. But he's just a really, really great guy. But anyway, I won these Bluetooth adapters right here. You can see it blinking right there, maybe. If I can focus here. Focus. Not going to happen. So let's zoom out a little more. So anyway, you can see them. There you go. So those are Heil Bluetooth adapters. And it's an XLR plug on that one, and it's just wired into an 1/8 inch, and then I have the other one in my pocket. So it doesn't, you know, don't need any big wire antennas or anything like that. So it works really good. But anyway, enough about that. So what we're here for is to mount the monitor now. So I need to get the monitor out of the box, and we're going to see how we're going to mount it up to this stand. So let me figure that out, and then I'll bring you right back. All right. Well, I think we finally got it done. It took, you know, a few hours. Messing around, had some visitors. You know, it's Sunday afternoon here. People come visit and say hello. Good thing about being in the South, I reckon. But we have the stand done. And now I can look at the monitor and I see exactly what I'm saying, and there's no, you know, it's on a nice 24-inch monitor. It looks really good. I can see my ISO, if everything's in focus, other than my bad eyes. But let me show you what I'm looking at now. So before, I looked at this right here. If you can imagine that the camera was mounted on top of that. But now, I look at this. So now the camera's mounted on top of the monitor, and I can look directly at that. So I can see if everything's in place and everything, and I can look directly at the lens. So, you know, when I'm looking at the lens, you don't know, but I can see everything right below it. So I know exactly what's happening, if it's recording, if the audio is working, and everything like that. So I think this was a project well worth doing. It rolls around the shop really good. So let me go ahead and I'll film how it looks coming down. Of course, them lights are bright in the background. So I'm gonna pan down. Those office skate wheels, for the money, you cannot beat those things. For 20 bucks, you know, you can roll it around with one finger. So I'm very, very happy. Very happy. So let me zoom in here. So that's basically what I'm looking at. So from me and me to you, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll get this video edited and probably get it out next week. So till next time, see ya.